Hello students, welcome to Savan Science Academy, and in this the second lecture of the topic Kingdom Plantae. So in the last lecture of biology, we saw the introduction of Kingdom Plantae. So we'll start with the first one, that is the algae, or we can call them as thallophytes. Now we'll see why. So this is the introduction lecture to the algae plant, the Kingdom Plantae का जो algae part है वो. So we'll see what are the features of algae. So first one is they are chlorophyll bearing. Obviously Kingdom Plantae's one of the main feature is they have plastids, and in those plastids they have photosynthetic pigments and which are able to fix the sunlight, and they can perform the photosynthesis. So these are chlorophyll bearing cells or the organisms. Simple, because if you see their body is not very much complicated. Generally we say it is thallus. Now what do you mean by thallus? Thallus means whose body cannot be differentiated into proper root, stems and leaves, because we know plants, they have typical organs that are root, stems, leaves, flowers, fruit, seeds. Okay? But in case of algae, and that's why we also call them as thallophyta. Means thallo is thallus body, phyta means plants having thallus body. Now what do you mean by thallus? Means they don't have true roots, they don't have true stem, they don't have true leaves. They have root like, they have stem like, they have leaves like structures. Jaise if we see in brown algae, if you see, what we will see over here is like this, a structure, and over there you will find like this structures. Okay, we'll see when we see the brown algae. So if you look over there, this is the hold fast, means they are the root like structures, but they are not the true roots. Okay, this is stipe. Stipe means this is, you can say this looks similar to stem, or it functions similar to stem of a true plant, but this is here known as stipe, which is stem like. Hold fast, which is root like, and this is green region that is known as the frond. Okay, which is green photochlorophyll bearing cells, we have that. So it looks like leaf like structure, but they are not actually true leaves. So that's why we call them as thallus. That's why we call them as thallus. So whose body is not differentiated into proper root, stems and leaves, such plant body is said to be thallus. Next, obviously they are autotrophs, means they can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. They convert that sunlight into chemical energy, that is in the form of starch, laminarian starch, mannitol, floridin starch, padenge hum log, algin. So these are the various storage materials that we find in algae. We will study this in subsequent lectures when we see the types of algae like chlorophyce, phaeophyce, and rhodophyce, means green algae, brown algae and red algae. So we'll see in that. So the storage material generally in plants, obviously starch is the main storage material. Here also we will find starch, but it also has some modified version of starch, plus it also have other chemicals too. So we'll see in the subsequent lectures. So but they are autotrophs, so they will convert the sunlight into chemical energy in the form of stored food. Largely these are aquatic, obviously, because you see these organisms, they are quite delicate. They don't have any, what you can say, a supporting structure to their body. So they are just they can't stand erect, simple as that. So such plants they are found aquatic, which generally flows with the current. Okay, so they are filamentous, some are unicellular also. So some are filamentous, some live in colonies. We'll see those, but they are largely aquatic. But they can also grow in those areas which has high water content, means in damp, moist places, like in moist soil, woods. In that case, one more thing is they can also found living symbiotically with other organisms. One example we have recently seen in biological kingdom topic, that is lichens. Okay, lichens is an association of algae and fungi that we saw. That is, so first again here they can live symbiotically with funguses to form lichens. Example इसके बहुत सारे uses भी है. like they are used in leather industries, they are also used as food. Even we use it in garam masala. Dagad fool, what we say, is a lichen technically, which is a mixture, which is a fusion of algae and fungi. So that is one of the case. And sloth bears, now this you will find in tropical areas. These are quite slow and sluggish animals, but they have huge fur on them. And which is the only thing which can protect them from getting hunted by any of the predator is simply is camouflage. First of all, they are just found, means they rarely come on ground. First of all, they live on trees. These are sloth bears. They have what you can say, sharp nails and all, but they are very slow animals, sluggish animals. So protection के लिए क्या होता है, इनके फर के ऊपर algae ग्रो करता है, and that helps them to camouflage with the surrounding. इसलिए बचने में मदद मिलती है, नहीं तो दूसरा कोई साधन. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ एन सिम्बायोटिक एसोसिएशन. इससे अलगे को एक फायदा है कि जनरली स्लॉथ बेयर्स दे लिव ऑन टॉप ऑफ द ट्रीज, सो सनलाइट उन्हें इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाता है. whereas स्लॉथ बेयर्स को फायदा क्या, एक कैमोफ्लेज प्रोटेक्शन उन्हें मिल रहा है. सो दिस इज हाउ दे सिम्बायोटिकली लिव. ठीक है. Next one is shape and size. So as I told you, they can be found in various shape and size. They can be found as small as microscopic. Some can be up to meters and meters of length. ठीक है. So जैसे कि example that is Chlamydomonas. These are unicellular. ठीक है, which look somewhat like this. There are some unicellular algae which also has flagella. So they have that photosynthetic pigment over there. So they are Chlamydomonas. Even volvox, just small, they look like soccer ball. So they are associated with each other. They are small multi, means what you will find there, you will find them in colonies. So it looks like a soccer ball like structure. So they are found in colonies. Eulothrix and Spirogyra, these are filamentous. Whereas kelps, these are also found, these are also long, lengthy, what you can say, algae which grow in oceans generally, and they help the fishes to means what you can say, to hide and all that stuff. So generally these kelps, they are also a very good important part of the ecosystem, ocean ecosystem. So they help for food for the fishes, they act as a hiding place for the fishes and all that stuff. So these are large algae that are kelps, that are found in marine, mostly marine. So as I told you, they can be fresh watered, they can be marine watered animals, and these variations you will find in size. You will find as unicellular, microscopic like Chlamydomonas, and as large in which can grow up to meters and meters. They are kelps. Next one is reproduction. How do they reproduce? Now again they have three modes of reproduction. One is the vegetative one, other is asexual one, and the last one is sexual one. When we say vegetative, so it is due one, actually vegetative can come as like it can include budding, binary fission, and the fragmentation. So here basically what it is fragmentation. Basically these filamentous algae, these are filamentous algae which are made up of cells. So if somehow due to some strong water current or something, if they get divided into fragments, potentially every fragment is capable to regenerate a new algae. So this is the simplest of all vegetative method. Next, asexual spores. Recently we finished with biological classification, where we in funguses we saw the types of what you can say, reproduction, asexual methods of reproduction. There also we saw zoospores, aplanospores, which means zoospores, which are non-motile spores to be precise, and zoospores over here. So motile spores जो है तो यहाँ पे भी मिलते हैं. अब ये डिटेल में we'll see the how algae reproduce in their respective divisions. That is chlorophyceae, we'll see how chlorophyceae algae divide or they reproduce, then brown algae, red algae in their respective topics. So we'll see that those in detail. So here also basically they consist of zoospores asexually, which are flagellated. ठीक है, motile है, so they are due to presence of flagella. sexual reproduction, obviously that means production of gametes. The fusion of two gametes will lead to formation of the zygote, and the zygote will then later on form the new algae. So in this there are three conditions, and these same conditions we have already studied in fungus, kingdom fungus. So similar here also we will find, that is isogamous, that is the male and female gamete, they are absolutely same. Means if one is both the cells will have, both the gametes will have same size, but if one is motile, the other one is also motile. So that is seen in case of Chlamydomonas, some of the Chlamydomonas species, where both the male and female gamete are motile, plus they look similar in the shape and size. The gametes look similar in shape and size. So that's what meaning is of isogamous. Iso means same, and gamous are the gametes. So the gametes, they look exactly same. If both have similar shape or size, but both are also motile, both will have flagella. And other case, in case of Spirogyra, that is both are non-motile, means the shape of the gametes is same, but they don't have any flagellas. So this is the case, they both will be same and motile. They can be also same but non-motile. So those examples are very important for your entrances. Okay, so learn these examples which include that part. So isogamous, simply the algae which produce similar types of gametes. The male gamete and female gamete looks exactly externally similar, so same size, plus if they have flagella both will have, that is in Chlamydomonas, and in Spirogyra both are non-motile but they will look similar. Another case is of unisogamous, that you will also find in some Chlamydomonas species. Now there can be, here can be variations. Then when I say unisogamous means not isogamous, means simple male female. Now male can be large, female can be small, vice versa, male can be small, female can be large. Otherwise, one more condition, male is motile, female is non-motile, or female is motile gamete, male is non-motile gamete. So they may vary in shape, one is larger, one is smaller, then other is larger, the previous one is smaller, then one can be motile, other can be non-motile, the first one is non-motile, other can be motile. So when the gametes do not match, neither in their shape or neither in their size and neither in their motility, means presence and absence of flagella, such are unisogamous. Un means not isogamous, they are not isogamous, simply the gametes are not similar. So they might vary in shape, size, or they might vary in mobility, locomotion. One can be motile, one can be non-motile. But in case of oogamous, this is exclusive condition. Here three main points we must understand. When we say oogamous, oogamous means compulsorily the female gamete is large, plus it's non-motile. Female gamete is large and non-motile. Second, male gamete जो है, male gamete, it is always motile and small. Male gamete will always be small and motile. And last important thing, कि these will be present in sex organs, means it will have female sex organs like archigonia, male sex organ like antherdia, and this fertilization will take place in the female sex organ. Means obviously the female gamete can't move, so the male gamete has to reach towards the female gamete, and the fertilization will occur inside those sex organs. That is basically the archegonium. How, we'll see in the subsequent lectures, so stay tuned. So for this, so oogamous, hope so सबको समझा. इसके example volvox and fucus, ये दो आते हैं. So hope so तीनों टाइप के reproduction, अगर पहले ही if you have already viewed my kingdom fungus lecture of asexual and sexual reproduction, I think so this will be a mere revision for you. Okay, but in algae how it takes place we'll see in the subsequent divisions, that is in green algae, red algae or brown algae. Last is the uses. Now these are potential MCQs as well. Okay, these are potential MCQs, the examples for the given gametic conditions. Here also this can be means the correct and incorrect statement. In that they might ask you about their shape, size, and how they live in that sense. So uses may what? Obviously, first is they are the ultimate or the primary producers of the oceans. Almost they say कि 50% of the carbon dioxide is fixed by the algae. You can say all over the world. So 50% of the carbon dioxide that is fixed is by the algae. So they are the one of the primary producers of what you can say of the earth, okay, which helps to fix and helps to keep a balance between CO2 and O2. And obviously they will store the food in the form of starch, laminarian starch, which is useful for the other heterotrophic animals which depend on them. And from that only the next point is, hence they can be act as a source of food. So you can connect these. So they are the producers. So obviously they are consumed for their stored food form. That is basically which algae we can eat is Porphyra, Laminaria, and also Sargassum. Okay, these are algae which can be easily consumed also. Okay. Next one, hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids ये वो chemicals होते हैं which can hold water, because generally algae like to grow in those areas which are moist. So what they do, they absorb moisture so that they have high water content in them. So they produce certain chemicals which are like carbohydrates only, like algin and carrageen. So these are two chemicals which are obtained from algae, basically because they have a greater tendency to absorb water. We can also use it for our purpose, that is it is hydrocolloid. So it has a tendency, so from the air it can absorb moisture and it can hold that water within it. So because of that the algae are quite what you can say moist, what you can say they are moist, plus they're always filled with the frond, or the what you can say the algae looks like it is filled with water. Okay, so in that way. Agar-agar, it is a type of a carbohydrate which helps in what you can say it's like gel. It helps in the formation of gel. So that is obtained from Gillidium and Garcilaria. Now this is a sure shot MCQ. This is a sure shot MCQ which can be asked, and it has quite a mentioning. So you have to learn this. GG, that the same word for agar-agar. So Gillidium and Garcilaria. They might ask you only one example also. They might ask you both also. It can come as A, B, C, some other option, D, both A and B. They might give you this as one option only. So this is a potential MCQ which can come for your entrance. Sure shot. Even these two are also important. Which two carbohydrates derived from algae, brown and red algae, can be used as hydrocolloids? So that is algae. Or they might give this and they might ask you the uses of carrageen. Okay. And the last but not the least is chlorella and spirulina. Now you study this in 12th standard. These are grown and these are dried and these are used as single cell proteins. They are used as food supplement, protein supplements. Okay, vegetarian source of it. So they are excellent source of proteins. Means by weight of that organism, protein by mass or by weight अगर हम देखें तो other non-veg sources के मुकाबले these are potentially they contain high protein. So natural protein, ठीक है, इसमें कोई artificialness नहीं है. So these are algae as you all know. So we grow them in ponds, and once they grow up to a certain what you can say amount, we then drain off that water, we dry them, we process them, and then these are used as protein supplement, protein powders, ठीक है, जो vegetarian source वाले होते हैं. So these are used by obviously healthy persons to maintain their health. Then they are also used by space travelers generally to have a what you can say a proper diet over there. So they are good source of proteins, lightweight, powderish form hai, so they are easy to consume also. So these are some of the advantages or uses generally that we have of algae. So this was a small introduction to the topic algae, which had the basic features, characteristic features of algae, the various shape and size. We have seen some examples also. Learn this from exam point of view. Here also many things, but these are all what you can say commonly known things. So this doesn't generally come in entrances. But this thallus body, what do you mean by thallus? And all this stuff they might ask you. Some might ask symbiotic relationship also. MCQ can be asked from year 2. Here also which are filamentous, which are colonial. At least learn the examples which are in your text, okay, for your NEETs. Next, reproduction is all three types: vegetative or sexual. So these are the ways, especially the sexual ones. You must be well acquainted with the terms and the examples associated with that. So they are important for that. And uses, these are these are pure MCQ zone, because they can ask you any use of it, any algae for which it is used. So these are the potential MCQs for it. तो होप सो इंट्रोडक्शन टू algae ये सबको समझा है. algae के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स, हाउ इज द हैबिटेट, शेप, साइज, हाउ डू दे रिप्रोड्यूस, ये हमने देखा है. सो नेक्स्ट वीडियो में हम क्लोरोफाइसी से शुरू करेंगे, जो उसके तीन डिविजन्स है. क्लोरोफाइसी दैट इज ग्रीन algae, फियोफाइसी brown algae, and rhodophysis red algae. So we'll see everyone in single lectures. So till then guys, hit the like button, subscribe the channel, share it with your friends, hit the bell icon for further notifications.